I have only one word. Entertrainment Junction, well done. It's fantastic. Welcome to my Car and Train channel. It's with sadness that I am presenting and assembling this video. Entertrainment Junction has been here to entertain all train fans during more than 15 years, and unfortunately it is the last month, we are in December 2024, that it's open. The best advice that I can give to people who pass away, who have an estate, is to make a good video so that the souvenir can be shared with the next generations. So here it is. You know the famous wording, the show must go on, and they have put a very nice display about the holiday season, Christmas. The welcome area with the restaurant and the small party rooms. The official store. The entrance. Thomas the Tank. There we go, coming back. And the model toy store. A lot of kids still.
There you are. So 2 juniors and a senior.
Alrighty, are we doing everything or do you want to do just the trains?
Just the trains, I got this little play area.
Yep, we do have a play area.
With the precious entry wristband, let's proceed inside. Here we go. We are at the beginning of the layout and it's organized by period. So here we are on the early trains and locomotives. And you can see the details of the sceneries.
There's train sets here. We're looking at the trains. There's a train. Yeah, well, let's do one at a time. Let's just see, there's a train right here. Just stop in this little town here. Let me get you a step stool. Hold on. You don't want one? Oh, okay. Because that way, if you want to, you can like stand here. Oh, these are loud ones.
Let's not miss the train on the bridge.
Yep, we keep going.
And the trains are operated also with the buttons on the side, and they are accessible by the children with a stool. Here is the master plan blueprint of the entire layout.
That train going over the bridge. Oh, it made a noise when it went over the bridge. And there's another one way up on that bridge. That's the same one. And it's going to go into that mountain. This is into that mountain. Into that mountain. See that? See that little purple?
So you can see the quality of the decor. Just the bridges are fantastic. All this work has been done mostly by volunteers. This section is showing a canal. The canals were very important for goods transportation, and just before the train arrived. The issue with the canals is that the level of the water was not always very regular. So the train was able to run more consistently and became the predominant way to transport goods. Here you can see a paddle boat, a stern steamer paddle boat. I will not repeat it more, but the level of details is fantastic. Look at this drawbridge, for example. And the train is going to go on the drawbridge. This is the connection between the canal and the train in the early times of transportation, about 1850s. What makes the layout very interesting is the combination of tunnels and mountain, and you can see the trains appearing and disappearing, and also the effect of light as you just saw, day and night. So it's not as if you could see the track all the time. So let's look here, and a locomotive is on the bridge. Actually, locomotive and the train, so full consist. the bridges actually, they are above real water which is flowing. Yeah, can you explain me how it's working?
Yeah, so this is our iPad we use to control the layout. Our layouts run on a PLC server. It's keeping track of all the trains, their positions, and where they're on the track, and if there's any problems, it'll let me know. So each number bar right here is an individual train that's on a track. Green or blue is a good thing. It means that it is either green means running, blue or light blue means it is stopped somewhere it's intended to stop. And then the number is the track that it's on, the letter is which train on that track. So you can pick anyone at random. I'll go with 221 in this case. So there are 3 trains on this track. I can manually control them from here, or it'll just tell me where each one is, which block it's running in, and the computer itself will keep track of them and keep them running constantly as long as people are around to set off the motion sensors.
So basically, most of the layout is based on loops.
Yes.
With blocks.
Correct.
And that's how you can see sometimes the same locomotive or the same train after a couple of minutes coming again on that loop. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them do loops. Some of them alternate directions and stuff like that. Like there's one, the logging train. It'll go one way around with a load full of logs. The other way, it'll look like the train has unloaded them and is coming back the opposite direction. And it makes it a little more interesting to keep watching the layout.
So, is it a standard software here, or is it something that has been custom designed for Entertrainment?
It has been custom made for us, yes.
Okay.
We had a volunteer and our lead programmer employee program all of this from scratch. I think it comes out to about 150 pages of programming if you were to print it all out.
Okay. So, Paul, what can you tell me about, is it reliable, the level of maintenance? In general, everything, electricity, rolling stock?
Yeah, it's as far as the program itself, super advanced, super reliable. It's also really helpful because it will detect problems that we might have with the layout. So it'll flash yellow or red back on this main screen here to let me know if there's an issue. Yellow means that the train hasn't made it to the next checkpoint in a certain amount of time. And so I need to go and check it out, see if it's derailed or if it's just stalled out or if it's on fire, fun things like that. If it goes into red, it means that it has had detected a short, or it's sat too long without motion and hasn't been checked. So it cuts all power to it. It's just a safety feature so that it can't be turned on again unless somebody goes and actually checks it out manually.
And just to have an idea, typically a locomotive or a rail car, how long does it live? What is their life expectancy here?
It varies quite a bit. The steam engines in the early period tend to last not a very long time, anywhere from a couple weeks to sometimes 3 to 4 months. I'd say the stuff in the engines, the larger diesels in the middle and modern period, they can sometimes go a year and a half to 2 years. There are some exceptions, like some lines in the middle period. We have to take them off and fix them up every couple weeks, but for the most part, they're more reliable.
But when you say a couple of months up to a couple of years, and then you need to scrap them because they are completely worn out and buy a new one, or can you...
Luckily, for the most part, we're able to fix them. So we can pull them off, swap them out for a different engine, and then we bring them back to our control room, which we can do some work, we can show off later. And it'll be We have spare motors, we have spare wheels, we can swap out parts, do whatever we need to do to try and get it up and running again. A lot of times the motors will wear the brushes completely out and then they're useless, so we just have to put a whole new motor in it and it'll run fine again after a while.
But is there any piece of equipment, beside the decor of course, which has been here since the beginning? And I'm speaking about rolling stock.
There probably is some rolling stock that's been around. The only things that we've had to do is just swap out wheels on it, things like that. And I know there are a lot of the track in the layout that has never been swapped out.
Okay.
The track itself, we're having more problems with swapping it out now. We've got it where there's no flange on the top of it at all. It is just razor thin going around those curves and stuff like that. We're having to swap it out now because trains are just falling between the rails.
Oh yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you, Paul.
No problem.
It says it all. So it's not just about the layout and the trains, but it's also about getting the children interested. So here we are at Imagination Junction. A perfect area for the children to get introduced to trains and perhaps to start to develop a passion. Here we are at the end of the early period. I'm sure you can appreciate all the work that went into that bridge. Apologize for the little glare, but of course everything is protected by plexiglass so that nobody is touching the trains and the decor. This is the last view of the early period. And now we are going to move under this beautiful trestle into the modern. Oh, let's catch the locomotive on the side. There we go. Actually the train, excuse me. We are going to move into the middle portion, the middle period. Just to get located, the red dot is where we stand on our journey. As you can appreciate, now the decor is different. And we start to see diesel, electric, and of course, a different style of buildings. Also longer trains as the locomotives are becoming more and more powerful. So here the logging is now using a mix of diesel and still a little bit of steam. In the distance, you may have seen quickly an HO train. So this is to give the idea that it's far and using the difference between G scale and HO. Same here. So we have the HO on top, the O and the G at the bottom. That gives the feeling of a deep layout. So very well done, Entertrainment. We want to see this Baltimore and Ohio train leaving the station. So you can see that here it's the replica of a city from the 50s. Of course, a little trailer, Airstream. And you can see a more modern train station with the overpass above the rails, and then the staircases to go down to the platforms. Streetcar in the back. I do have, by the way, a fantastic video. That's a commuter train. So those typically would go further in the suburbs or even maybe inner city, and the orange streetcar. The purpose of this track is to show the evolution of the size of the locomotive. You start with the very well-known 440 American that you may have seen in a lot of Western movies. The 282 Mikado, that's already a big locomotive. And then the 484, that was the generation just before the famous big boy that you can see in the distance. But there was a diminishing return of having those massive locomotives because they had so much weight that you needed a lot of steam, and so a lot of water and a lot of coal just to move the locomotive. They had a transstocker, and it said that a man alone was not able to shovel the weight of coal just to move the locomotive. So it was an automatic feeder. And of course, and I'm sorry it's a little bit in the distance, but over there you can see the diesel. 4,000 horsepower for the G-9. The GP7 here in the middle was 1,500. So the first diesel were a little bit less powerful than the latest of the steam locomotives, but they were so easy to start, nothing to heat, no boiler, that they became very quickly predominant, and the steam locomotives unfortunately had to go. And then the number of locomotives and the size in a consist started to increase. As you can see here, you may have two in the front, perhaps two in the middle also, two at the end of the consist, or sometimes you can see 5 locomotives pulling the consist. As mentioned, there is an alternance of day and night, 15 minutes of day and 5 minutes of night, to try to recreate the full day. Each loop works with a block system so that each train waits for the track to be cleared before going to the next block. And it's all managed with the computer. Let's look at the modern buildings in the back. Behind these closed doors, there is the 7.5 gauge outdoor train track, for which I have a couple of videos. This is what is fun, is that you can play with the trains. And here comes the train. Very important portion of the layout is the maintenance. As you can imagine, almost every month the locomotives need to go on inside to have some repairs to the wheels, to the motors, to the brushes. And here you can see the computer system, which is managing the entire layout. We can see here that there is a train flickering in yellow and red. That means that there is a problem that needs immediate attention. There is a mezzanine, and we will go there later. I don't want to spoil the overall view, so we are going to continue to watch period after period. We need also to say a word about the sidings of the layout. They are extremely well documented, appropriate for the period. You cannot have steam operations without the roundhouse. Why? Because steam locomotives, unlike diesel, go only one way, mostly forward. They can go reverse, but it's just for a temporary time, unless they are switchers. So I am operating the turntable, and you can see the locomotive. Install 1 is going out. Now let's move the locomotive of the stall number 3. That's the green one. Here we go. Oh, I see, it's very smart, so it works on a cycle. And now we are going to move the locomotive of stall 5. And then the first locomotive to go out now is coming back, and it's going to enter the turntable and then go to the stall number 5. Yep, you see it. And that's a full cycle. Now we are entering the modern time section. Those are the models used to build the layout. Lot of planning before doing the real thing. And here you can see the entire layout. Right now we are where the red dot is. Some interesting facts. And I could not resist to take a shot of this list of celebrities. I have a video about train layouts and a train collection of celebrities. We are still in the modern era period, and it's interesting to see that the steam locomotive is now on display, as you may see in a lot of cities. Look at those beautiful buildings. Another bridge that goes above the pedestrian way or walkway. Even the hot air balloon is going up and down. 70s, this round home, not roundhouse. Now let's go backwards so that you have the view with a different angle. So now let's go backwards so that you have a view from the opposite angle of what we have been filming so far. Another outstanding bridge with the train crossing. So that bridge is easily 12 feet above ground. Easy. So I'm sure that you are going to recognize some of the sceneries that we have seen. The Christmas train again that we saw earlier. Actually, we are going to see all of the trains. We are in the middle of the modern era. I think it's interesting to see the opposite way. So now we are in the middle period, around 1950. So you can see the mix of steam and diesel. And we will finish with the view from the mezzanine. Oh, that's interesting, as if you were in the train. Okay, let's continue the workshop on the right, and then we continue the main train station here. Of course, it's called Union Station. And that's where some sections intersect with the other, as you can see here. And we are going back now under the bridge to the early portion. Actually, it's a very good idea. So you remember what I was saying about the royal water? And the fantastic curved bridge. Now we see the back of the paddle boat, as well behind so one is the rear paddle boat, the other one is the side paddle boat. And I have a surprise for you speaking about steamboats. The surprise is that I have a model steamboat mechanism. Look at all those bridges.
What do you see?
And we are back at the entrance. The Shea locomotive. Sorry for the glare, but I thought that it's interesting to see how the tunnel was built to make sure that the rocks would not fall on the train track. So now some of the behind the scenes. So that's the portion that you did not get to see as a visitor. Excuse me. We are getting some of the feet of the cars. Do I follow you?
Down there, but yeah, feel free to film from wherever you'd like up here.
Okay.
Just be careful, of course. There's no rain out there.
I have a question. Some of the upper train, are they O gauge or HO to look in the distance? No, everything is G gauge.
They're all G. The only one that's not is the Coney Island Railroad.
Okay. So they look small because they are far.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they are just genuinely that high up a mountain. They look a lot smaller.
Okay. Even the small one over there, no, that's HO, no.
Yeah, that one's, it's still G. It's just their smaller mine carts on there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But that's not G, no,
It is.
it is?
Yeah, it's the little cart that's pulling it is literally a G-scale diesel power truck that's just got a box on the outside of it.
Okay.
And it's G-scale track up there.
So I think it's one gauge. There is a difference between scale and gauge. The gauge is the width of the track.
Yep.
The G gauge is oversized as a body.
Yeah, it's all G gauge track. It's all
Okay.
the exact same Aristocrat track everywhere. But yeah, the scale varies a little bit. I think we go between 1/20th to 1/24th, depending on where you are.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
Yeah, feel free to just look around. Keep in mind at some points it does angle down with the ground, so just be cautious as you're walking around. If you have any other questions, let me know.
Thank you. So here we are behind the scene and I am using the flashlight, otherwise it's too dark. There is no light here so that this portion is not seen from the visitors, but It's very important because it's part of the intricacies So I'm glad I had the idea to come with the flashlight. Otherwise I can tell you, it's kept dark on purpose and you would not see anything. So here is the public side in the distance, and this is the beginning of the behind the scene. Even with the flashlight. Wow, this is very unique, I can tell you. So there is another group which is with me, and they are filming. Today they want to focus on the Coney Island.
It seems like I walk here.
Yeah, you're good.
Wow, fairly impressive. Thank you. And are they working? The rides?
Yeah, pretty much all of them are running right now.
Okay.
So you can put any of them for individual rides, or this one just starts all of them at once.
Okay.
That was a request by the owner, Don, because he likes showing that off when he takes people behind the scenes.
And are you going to make them work, or the rides? Or,
Yeah, here.
Wow. Let's go see the rides. Wow. That's a treat. Just for you, viewers. Are you starting again the big one?
We can, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Coming back? Sure.
I missed your big moment in the park, man.
So you remember the yellow are the individual rides and the green is the special honors button that triggers all the rides at the same time. It looks almost as if we were in the New York underground with the trains rolling and rolling and rolling. So now we are going to go down the stairs. We need to be very careful because I don't want to be the one making a catastrophe. your head. So here we are very deep, and that may be perhaps, you know, like a crawling space. Well, it seems that a rail car perhaps one time missed a curve or didn't get properly attached. What's going on here? A stockpile. Isn't it exciting to be behind the scene? You see how it's built. So here we have a stockpile. Perhaps, you know, one more train just in case. You are following me? You can see that everything is very well labeled, which is great. Oh, here we are in a train here. Yeah. I have the feeling that I am in the New York Underground subway, excuse me. And it's very unique to be able to see that. So where goes that door? Next to the bathroom. And again the Christmas train. Let's close and go back. Again, the Christmas train just for you. Excuse me if it's a little bit shaky. So now let's go backwards in the behind the scene. So this is the way it's done. I think that there are one set of wheels. Actually there are three wheels. There is the ball bearing, the lower and the upper, so that it doesn't fly off the track. I'm sure a lot of experiment before you make it work. Can we go there? So let's go downstairs now. Another door behind the scene. There we go. And here we are in the modern time. So this is a live steam plant, the boiler, the cylinder, and then it's going to activate different electric motors. But it seems that it's working the other way around. I think the electricity is making that facility turn. And I am wondering if it's the same with the locomotive which is in display. On display. I am wondering if it's the same thing with the locomotive on display. It seems that there is an electric command with an electric engine on the right, what I am lighting here. Even the drive-in theater. Now let's go to the mezzanine. The behind the scene is happening behind those houses on the upper level. Coney Island at night. It's the end of the day. But still, people are having fun. So we are on top of the mezzanine, and it gives a very interesting view of the entire layout. So let's move more in the middle portion here. Here we go. I think we are going to see the upper train. So clearly, when you are in the mezzanine, you realize that there is an upper loop that goes through all those bridges. So this is the passage, the pedestrian passage between the initial era and the middle era. I am showing also the frames because I think it allows to better understand the value of the mezzanine. And then from above there are details that you did not see at once, like running water also on this side, on the modern side. The thing which is outstanding is the number of bridges. I would not be surprised that there are 50 bridges perhaps. There are bridges everywhere. It's very well put together. The yard in the distance. I have only one word. Entertrainment Junction, well done. It's fantastic. So that's the map of the whole layout.
Yep, and that is a live map as well. So it is keeping track of train errors. These marked spots on here are the different sections of the path where motion sensors are, so it knows when to send certain trains. If any train were having an issue, the line would show up as yellow or red. Yeah, luckily right now, everything's running nicely, so.
Yeah. And so gradually you are pausing all the trains. Now I see that compared to 2 or 3 hours ago, there are less trains now.
Yeah, right now there's less trains moving. So all these guys here say pause because they're waiting.
So you said that most of the trains are paused because this is when you start in the original period that it triggers the train that get the other running.
Yeah, so there's motion sensors in each section of the layout. So these are all in the early period. That's what the 1 and the 100s for their number means. It's an early period. So since nobody's in the early period right now, they're all paused. They're waiting until somebody walks by and then they'll start moving again.
And it's the same for the intermediate and the modern section? It's working in the same manner?
Yes. Yeah, so anything with 200, with 2 is in the number 200s and up to 233 over here, they're all considered middle period. So some sections are paused right now because there's no motion in them. Others are still going. The 300s are the modern period, and there's plenty of people in that section right now, so they're almost all moving.
And this is for the maintenance, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the preventative maintenance or repairs.
Yeah, this is our report system, so if we swap an engine out or if we discover a problem, we just report it here. That way, if I'm not in the next day, whoever comes in can see it and know what's going on.
And Larry is still working here, no?
Yes, Larry is still here.
Okay, I know him very well.
Keep up with.
Oh, I see all the electric motors.
Yep, so those are all ones that have been taken out of engines. So they're getting towards the end of their lifespan, and it was just easier to swap in a brand new motor instead. So those are all used. The new ones are on the shelf in that corner over there. They're all in those styrofoam boxes.
Ah, okay, yeah. So more of the behind the scene.
You're actually in the very center of the layout right now.
Ah, okay. So we are at the center of the layout here.
Yeah, when you're over here, you have all 3 time periods around you. Early this way, modern this way, and middle this way. usually don't keep the tunnels lit up like this. Typically it's like that.
It's all dark. So now we crawl underneath and we go back to the control room. Sorry if it's a little bit bumpy, but I want you to have the full experience. So when you open, what do you? Is it complex or not to get started? Or is it one button and it all starts?
So it actually will. There is one button that can start them all up. Here, this is also this screen, and it's literally this big button right here. So you can start them all, or at the end of the night, when everything's done, you can hit home all to send them all home. Now, the computer is actually smart enough. It'll automatically start things up at 10 o'clock and it'll automatically shut them down. Right now we're in extended hours, so at 11 o'clock. So if I don't intervene with it at all, at 11 o'clock it'll immediately tell all the trains, go home and stay there. And they will stop there, and that way I can power them off for the night. If I do intervene, like say I want it to go even longer, I literally just hit start all again, and it'll just say, okay, they're on indefinitely until you tell us to go home.
Okay, and when you say home, what is home for a train? It's a...
Sure. So it is, let me pull up a good one. So this is track 101, which is the track that's way up overhead, goes through every time period. There's two that are back in the tunnel. They both have a home position on the sides.
Ah, okay.
So they will stop there at the end of the night and wait there till the next morning. If there's no motion, they will go back to their home position until the next motion sensor goes off, and then they'll send one out. So they each have a home position, and then it'll keep track of it through the main line. So it knows that right now it's between Larry's desk, which is right back over there, and the home position, which is further down that
and
tunnel.
then we just saw it move. Okay. So and the home, it's a position where you can access to it easily.
Yes.
In case you need to service it. So the home position, they are more on behind the scene than in the middle of the layout.
Yeah, most of them, they're going to be behind the scenes. There's some where it's just easier to make them out on the layout. So, like in the middle city, the outer tracks, those trains are right in front of the station at the end of the night. This one's at home, that one's at home.
Okay.
And they'll all go back to those positions at the end of the night.
Very good.
Help those other gentlemen out, but yeah, take as many videos as you'd like, great view out there, through the windows, whatever you'd like to do.
Thank you. So we are at the EJ Tower here, overlooking another portion of the layout. Mostly the modern layout, the modern sections. So they are removing the windows so that the National Railroad Association can document all the details. It's with this view of the real water with the steam paddle boats and the train in the background. It is fantastic scenery that I want to say beyond, and I thank you very much for watching this video. I have many more layouts, very interesting layouts on my Car and Train channel, as well as some videos that were filmed earlier, especially the live steam portion. Thank you again for watching this video.
I'll call her after I call her. She had like 15 people call. And I was like, yeah. I was like, she's trying to come on with all 150 people. You know, one of the things that it goes into, like, did she start to pay you or like, hey, I know she's talking about vouchers. And she's like, I think you sold someone tickets or something. And I was like, oh, here's the name. I just need you to look it up. And she's like, I'll get to it. And then I was like, okay. And then like, okay, I'll come back in like a half hour and see how far we get. Come back. He's got no further on her list and did not call anyone and never told the name to see if they had already paid for the voucher. So I texted him and I was like, this is all I need. And it was like, yeah, I already paid for my ticket. It's kind of crazy because all the time they're saying this and telling me something.
Right. You're like, that's all I need now. I figure, I mean, I probably